If this made it to your feed, that means this message is for you. You can choose to stay or you can scroll up and then you can just come back here when your higher self directs you. I have been talking a lot about frequencies. So in today's post, we are going to talk about a frequency template. We're going to talk about someone who lived his life full of love and peace amidst the chaos and the corruption and the hardship around him. You know him very well. He is Jesus Christ. So we're going to talk about Christ consciousness, not in the sense of doctrine or religion. We're just going to talk about his life as a template of high frequency and high consciousness. Jesus existed in a world of super oppression. It was full of corruption and division, much like our present timeline. But he was not of that world. We saw that. He was a being who had already fully realized and anchored in the frequency of unconditional love. So this is the template that he embodied, and he was embodying the template of ascension. He rejected fear and control. He did not respond to chaos with chaos, but he responded only with love. He did not resist or battle with lower density frequencies, and he remained untouched by them vibrationally. We all saw that he refused to feed lower frequencies. He was insulted, he was tortured, but he responded with silence. He responded with wisdom. He was mocked so much, but he never engaged in proving his worth. He was betrayed so many times, and yet he still held compassion to those people who had seemed to have forgotten their divinity. He showed that suffering is a product of the 3D matrix, not a requirement for heaven, but it seems like in today's religion around Christianity, a lot of people think that you have to suffer to go to heaven. That is a big misunderstanding. His suffering was not a prerequisite for his ascension because his frequency was already ascended. So when he was at the cross, he was not showing that was his end. He was showing that that is a transmutation. He was showing that despite all of that, love cannot be broken. Love cannot be killed or silenced. He still loved even in his dying breath. He demonstrated by his ascension that nothing can separate him from love. No external force can pull him from the alignment of love. So with his life, he activated a blueprint that others can follow. But others started idolizing him, and I don't think that was his intent. His template is meant to be activated within those who chooses love over fear. His life was never really about obedience or suffering. It was him showing us the mastery of energy amidst the chaos and the suffering that was inflicted on him. He never asked for worship. He was asking for us to remember our divinity through his life template. So I've got some notes here when he said, "Everything I do, you will do also, and greater things than these." That was not a metaphor, but a lot of people took it very literally. It was actually a direct invitation to activate that template within ourselves. So the world we see now somehow mirrors the time Jesus walked the earth. There's division, hatred, opposition, fear. These are the same energetic patterns when he was in his time. But just as he did, you have a choice. We all have a choice. You can choose to not feed the lower energies. Don't engage in battles of ego, division, or proving your righteousness. Instead, hold the highest frequency possible, which is love, neutrality, and compassion. So in the field of unconditional love, lower density frequency cannot really exist. Be unwavering in your alignment. So Jesus did not flinch in the face of cruelty. He did not shrink when he was misunderstood. So we too can remain in our truth even if the world pushes back. The power is in your consistency, which means don't dip into the lower vibration just because others do so. And remember that love is not weak. It is actually the most powerful force. Love is not passive at all, my friend. It is very transformative. So when you're holding love in the midst of chaos, it is not a weakness, it is actually a mastery. So the system, the matrix, thrives in division and fear. So when you choose to not give into the division and the fear, you collapse this control, you collapse the matrix. So just like Jesus, when you walk in these frequencies, you can also be a transmitter of love and light. You do not need to convince anyone, just like I don't need to convince you. The vibration of love is enough to activate others. Those who are ready will recognize it. Those who are not will resist or will get triggered. But even in the midst of resistance, at least seeds are planted. So let us summarize some of the fundamental truths and message of this post. You are not here to suffer, and you are not here to battle. You are here to vibrate in the truth of love so fully that the illusion of division and fear and control, they dissolve just by your mere presence. So when Jesus carried the cross, he wasn't showing you suffering. He wasn't showing you that you are bound by suffering. He carried it to show you that nothing external has power over your internal alignment. Nothing external has power over love. So love is not just a concept, my dear. Love is a frequency. When you hold love unwaveringly, it overrides fear, it dissolves a division, and it reconfigures reality itself. So this post is an activation for all of you listening. If you made it this far, this is a remembrance post. This is an ascension moment for you. So this template of Christ is alive, and it's always been alive. It is not outside of you, it is within you. Repost if you think that a lot of humanity need to remember and hear this. Sending you love.